Okay, somebody turn the microphone on and then we'll be in production mode. Okay, ready when you guys are.
Yeah.
We're ready, yeah.
Hi, Dan. Well, thank you for taking time out of your time here at Harrisonburg to take a few minutes with Wes and I to second.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So our first exposure to you was right at a year ago, almost a year ago to the day. We had the opportunity to be on a call with a guy named Pat Gustafson. I think you guys know one another on some level. That he hosted. He invited us in as part of some of the different committees within the John Maxwell team in that organization. And we heard some of what you really shared as Live to Lead last year as well, from when the Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing. And I'm going to tell you, hearing that then and then again at Live to Lead was just kind of holy moly, that was a lot to take in, and I really had to study heavily after that. I'll touch on that in a little bit, but you know, with Live to Lead and what you did there, that was a cool experience for us to see you as part of it. Would you mind speaking just a little bit about here's what you saw as one of the participants last year in that event and what that was really like for you?
Yeah, I think what was interesting about that event, Wes, is the reach. It's pretty amazing because when you think about that, so we were in this particular venue in Georgia. And that was cool because the people there were interesting and engaged. But then when you think about the reach that it had, like beyond Georgia, beyond the Southeast, beyond the East, into the Midwest, into the Northeast, into the Western United States, into Alaska, Hawaii. Wait a second, in South America, Europe, Asia. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like that, you feel like the tentacles are very, 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 very vast.
Yeah, that's been neat to see. We've been on a committee that helps all the host sites around the world for the last several years, and this year we're over 300 host sites. It reaches several 100,000 people around the world. It's just a cool opportunity.
Yeah,
so
And I like getting email from like Nigeria or something like that.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So I'm guessing this helped you sell a lot of books as well.
I don't know, actually. I hope so, but it's a relatively short amount of time. So what you want to do is you want to have as powerful and concise a message as you can, so that one idea sticks, so that somebody out there, whether they are in Harrisonburg, Virginia, or Lagos, Nigeria, or Sheboygan, Wisconsin, or Paris, France, says, "Hey, that's kind of interesting. I'm going to do something differently tomorrow."
That's fantastic. I know with your book, Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing, that you spoke about at Live to Lead 2018. Wes and I have actually been promoting that book as some
thanks.
training that we've done, and just offered our audience some quotes from there.
Thanks,
And
great.
just personal experience about how it's impacted us and what we've changed.
Awesome, great.
Yeah, I'd like to think a month ago we sold close to 100 for you that day.
Wow.
It was a group.
Well, let me see if I have I can write your check for the royalties here.
No, we absolutely. It was great to reference you and what we've learned through it. You know, I said earlier that it was content that just kind of wowed me, but it was hard to digest, to listen to it. But I read the book probably 4, 5, or 6 times, and I brought my dog-eared, highlighted, marked up copy along. But I also listened to it on Audible over and over to make sure I could just digest it and learn, and how could it. And I had a Nappuccino today.
Good for you, Wes.
So it was phenomenal.
Yeah, excellent.
Maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but it's
Wow.
changed my life.
Rock and roll. All right.
So it's just been a lot of fun with that. One of the questions I had, Dan, is when you did the event in Atlanta last year, you guys, the simulcast part was the first half day.
Yeah.
You guys did some live stuff too. And there were some VIPs, and we had some friends that attended live. We've hosted here in Harrisonburg. This is our 5th year hosting.
Mm-hmm.
It's grown. We're almost sold out and so on. What kind of people did you see at the event that really said, hey, it's worth taking in this?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, it's interesting. I was really surprised by the diversity of people who were there, based on just from different corners of America, not only geographically, but just people doing different kinds of things. There was some amount of racial diversity. There was a lot of age diversity too. Like there were people who were in their 60s and 70s, but there were people who were, I think there were a few high school kids there. There were kids right out of college, and so it's a pretty diverse group, and that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
Because a lot of like business conferences and things like that. It's an army of middle-aged white guys like me. So,
Ditto.
yeah.
So yeah, that's been such a neat thing in that community with John because he truly does have that reach all over the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
When we're with that group in Orlando a couple times a year, it's people coming in literally for that event from all over the
Right,
world.
right, right,
It's just
exactly.
really neat to see.
Exactly.
So we have about, 30, 40 seats
Yeah,
that we're
ish.
looking to move for our Live to Lead here for our 5th annual October 18th. What would you say to the individuals here? What would you say to them about going to a Live to Lead event? What would they gain from it?
You know what? I think it's two things. Number one, I think is there's enormous bang for the buck in education, both in terms of what you invest in the dollars and what you invest in the time. The bang for the buck is significant. I also think it's kind of interesting to be plugged into that community, and it becomes it's a, and it's also a way that community is how people find a sense of meaning and purpose. It's also how they learn. We tend not to learn completely in solo individual efforts. We learn by being a part of something, by collaborating, by plugging into other people.
The double walls on the train is what I'm talking about. With the community, their guard and everything.
Exactly.
So, so that was phenomenal. So is there anything that we've not asked? I really want to value your time. I know you've got 2 hours to drive home from DC,
Yeah.
and I hope it's a great trip and whatnot. But is there anything that you'd just be willing to share with the folks that we try to reach and really try to add value and bring leadership content to here in this area?
I think what's interesting is that one of the things that I think John has done really well is erase this very stark divide between what is professional and what is personal. So we tend to. I think we want to compartmentalize, or our bias is to compartmentalize. Work me is this way, personal me is this way, and you know what? It doesn't work that well. And what we want to do is we want to bring, work is personal, and we want to bring our full selves to work. We want to be authentic at work. We want work to be an expression of our values. And if we think about work in those kinds of terms, if we blur that boundary rather than make that boundary very stark, I think we're better off. I think we're happier and more fulfilled as human beings, and I think we get more stuff done.
Yes, sir.
And I think that John has really been onto something by pursuing that.
Well, so that's our life. I mean, so, we work together. We've been married for almost 20 years, but we are in business for ourselves, and we work together full time every day. So it's just a blessing.
And you're still married.
And
We love it.
it's some of the most.
No, I work with my wife too.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I loved your story about we don't have the NPR sticker on the Prius. But we live in the country, so it's fun. I want a bigger car than you. Anyway, we won't go there. But again, really appreciate your time. Cindy, anything else you'd like to ask or say?
Just really appreciate you taking
Sure,
a
my
few
pleasure.
minutes
Thanks for
here
talking to you guys. It was
to
fun.
sit down and introduce you.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Okay.
That's it.
So